Henry Armstrong, 124 pounds, he beat the 146-pound champ. So, you never know. Anything can happen when two men are in a ring or in a basketball court. Anything can happen.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something.
Tensions between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford are no longer limited to what might happen inside the ring. The rivalry has now extended into sharp verbal exchanges as well, with members of Crawford's team delivering direct messages aimed at Canelo. During a recent press conference, representatives from Crawford's side spoke confidently about the upcoming showdown. They warned that Canelo could be in for a very punishing night once the fight begins, suggesting that Crawford plans to bring intense pressure and inflict serious damage when the two finally meet.
Because he is an effing beast.
Well, he been in there with Bud, so he understands, what Bud can bring to what brings to the table. So he just give him that warning not only Canelo, he giving the warning out to all the bettors out there that's going to bet against Bud. You don't fuck up and lose your money.
A leading trainer from Terence Crawford's team, Stephen Edwards, recently discussed Canelo Álvarez's preparation for the fight. Edwards commended Canelo's camp for choosing talented welterweight contender Jaron Ennis as a sparring partner during training. Edwards explained that Ennis is a strong choice because his ability to switch stances and maintain a relentless pace closely reflects the qualities that Crawford brings into the ring. According to him, that style makes Ennis an effective option for simulating the type of challenge Canelo is expected to face. Even with that preparation, Edwards maintained his belief that Crawford will come out on top. At the same time, he acknowledged that selecting a fighter like Ennis for sparring indicates Canelo's team is approaching the matchup with full seriousness and clearly understands the difficulty of the task ahead.
Stronger than the body. So even if he's not at his exact physical peak, which he's probably not at 37, he's still in his prime because his mind processes so well and he understands how to fight that smooth fight without being so just rigid and taking so much punishment and having to give up so much of him.
These remarks came shortly after Terence Crawford's strength and conditioning coach, Kenny Cadet, shared his own perspective on the training camp. Based on what he has observed so far, Cadet expressed strong confidence in Crawford's preparation in a message posted on social media. Cadet told fans that Crawford is ready to deliver a decisive performance against Canelo Álvarez, even suggesting that the victory would strengthen Crawford's claim as one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He added another message, saying everything in camp is going smoothly and that he feels extremely confident about how things are progressing. Taken together, these comments highlight the high level of belief within Crawford's team. Their focus is not only on physical preparation, but also on projecting confidence and establishing a psychological edge ahead of the bout.
Wait, you mentioned Larry Merchant at the beginning of the interview.
Yeah, legend.
So let me go back to Larry Merchant here. I asked Merchant a couple of weeks ago, I said, do you think that Terence Crawford has a chance to beat Canelo Álvarez? And Larry looked at me and said, did Ray Leonard get an official decision over Marvelous Marvin Hagler? And I said, yes, he did. He said, if that's the case, then Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Álvarez.
Canelo Álvarez has delivered his response in a measured manner. Rather than engaging in heated exchanges, he has remained composed while making his position clear. Canelo stated that the entire event is remarkable and emphasized his intention to keep adding to his legacy. He also said that Terence Crawford will experience the full force of his punches once they step into the ring. His remarks reflect a strong sense of confidence. Canelo appears unfazed by the growing excitement surrounding the matchup. Instead, his attention remains on protecting his undisputed super middleweight championship and reinforcing his reputation as one of boxing's most well-rounded competitors. But at the same time, Canelo has not underestimated Crawford. His comments suggest that he recognizes the challenge in front of him, but prefers to respond through his performance inside the ring rather than through words in the media.
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147 So I'm just going to treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing. You know, the jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Devin Haney has also shared his view on the matchup. Haney, who is aiming to capture a world title in a 3rd weight division this November, believes the fight is an exciting one and has predicted that Terence Crawford could pull off the upset. Despite the challenge Crawford faces by moving up 2 weight classes and being listed as the underdog by many sportsbooks, Haney still sees a path to victory for him. According to Haney, the bout is something fans have long hoped to see. He explained that Crawford possesses the talent, discipline, and ring intelligence needed to succeed. At the same time, he acknowledged that Canelo Álvarez brings those same qualities along with a clear advantage in size. Haney described the matchup as highly competitive and expressed satisfaction that Crawford secured the opportunity. While he admitted it will not be an easy challenge, he believes Crawford has the ability to achieve it if anyone can. Overall, Haney's comments show respect for both fighters while suggesting that Crawford has a genuine chance if he follows his strategy effectively.
The thing about Crawford is he believes he's on it. Like, he believes he's the one. So that's the difference between him and any other fighter that Canelo fight. Because Canelo, people fight the idea of Canelo Álvarez opposed to fighting the individual. The thought of him is what puts fear in their heart. But he doesn't care about that because he said he's Terence Crawford, so it's a totally different thing. So if he can implement his strategy and ride it out to the end of the fight, he's going to...
Liam Smith from Liverpool has also weighed in on the matchup. Smith believes that Canelo Álvarez is approaching the contest with full seriousness, particularly judging by the sparring partners his team has selected during training. He noted that bringing in welterweight contender Jaron Ennis suggests that Canelo's camp is preparing carefully for the style that Terence Crawford might bring into the ring. According to Smith, that choice indicates a focused effort to replicate the type of challenges Crawford presents. When it comes to his prediction, Smith expects Canelo to come out on top. He believes the victory could arrive either through a late stoppage or by winning on the judges' scorecards. His comments underline how seriously Canelo's team is taking the fight, showing that their preparation is not based solely on natural ability, but also on a detailed plan too.
Canelo getting old. He is. The next fight of Canelo will tell the story. It really will tell the story. It really will tell that story, because at the end of the day, the first thing that goes on a boxer 90% of the time is their attention. Do you know what I mean? The attention span and the feet. The last thing that will ever go is his power.
Adding further perspective, veteran trainer Ismael Salas also shared his analysis of the matchup. Salas, who has previously worked with fighters that challenged Terence Crawford, believes Crawford has the ability to defeat Canelo Álvarez, but only with the right tactical approach. According to Salas, the key would be a highly technical and defensive strategy similar to the style famously used by Floyd Mayweather Jr. He explained that Crawford's skill set shows certain similarities to Mayweather, especially in areas like defense and counterpunching. Salas emphasized that Crawford's most effective path to victory would come through disciplined defensive boxing. In his view, adopting elements of Mayweather's approach, particularly the American shoulder roll defense combined with sharp counters, could significantly improve Crawford's chances. Mayweather, he noted, mastered that method better than anyone.
Come September 13th, I will become the first male 3-time undisputed champion of the world. Listen, like I always said, I'm a big fan of Canelo. He's a great fighter, but I think I'm better. Everything that I have inside myself with the tools that I have, I'm capable of doing anything that I want in the ring. And come September 13th, I will become the first male 3-time undisputed champion of the world.
If Floyd Mayweather Jr. were able to offer guidance or influence Terence Crawford's approach, veteran trainer Ismael Salas believes it could become a significant advantage. His analysis suggests that Crawford will need far more than confidence alone to defeat Canelo Álvarez. Success, according to that view, would require a carefully structured strategy built around precision, discipline, and strong defensive awareness. Crawford himself has made it clear that he holds a great deal of respect for Canelo's abilities. Speaking during an appearance on Club Shay Shay, Crawford explained that he views Canelo as a well-rounded boxer rather than simply a heavy hitter. He pointed out that many observers reduce Canelo's style to raw power, but Crawford disagrees with that assessment. In his view, Canelo possesses a complete skill set. Crawford described him as a fighter who can both absorb punches and deliver them effectively, while also being capable of counterpunching, controlling exchanges with his boxing ability, and applying pressure when necessary.
I'm definitely honored to be in that situation and a position to share the ring with another great. You know, it's going to be a hell of a night come September.
Terence Crawford fully understands the challenge ahead. He recognizes that Canelo Álvarez is one of the most complete and adaptable fighters of this era. Because of that, Crawford is preparing for every aspect of Canelo's abilities rather than focusing solely on his punching power. On the other hand, veteran trainer Abel Sanchez has raised concerns about whether Crawford can deal with Canelo's physical advantages. Sanchez has worked with fighters who have sparred with both men, giving him insight into their respective strengths. According to Sanchez, even though Crawford has added weight over the past year in preparation for the fight, that alone may not be enough to match Canelo's strength or withstand his power. He questioned whether Crawford is physically large enough to push Canelo around inside the ring. Sanchez explained that while Crawford's added size could be helpful, it does not necessarily improve his ability to absorb clean, powerful punches from a naturally stronger opponent. In his view, once Canelo begins landing solid shots, Crawford could struggle with the impact. Sanchez described Canelo as a powerful and physically imposing fighter whose punches can wear an opponent down wherever they land, draining strength and causing lasting damage throughout the body.
I think, to be honest, you don't want to sit there and brawl with Canelo, but at some point you're gonna have to fight him. You know what I'm saying? You can't let Canelo press you. You know what I'm saying? Because he's great at that. And
Sanchez further emphasized that for Terence Crawford to secure a victory, he cannot rely solely on movement or long-range jabs. According to Sanchez, Crawford will have to actively engage Canelo in exchanges, which inherently opens him up to significant counters from Canelo Álvarez. Sanchez compared Crawford to Canelo's previous opponent, Billy Joe Saunders, noting that Crawford does not match that fighter in size, speed, or raw power. While Canelo managed Saunders' hand speed and absorbed his shots effectively, Crawford's physical attributes present a different challenge. Although Crawford was faster in his earlier years, age has slightly reduced his speed. He now relies on moderate quickness and, more importantly, his high ring intelligence. Sanchez explained that to land scoring punches, Crawford will have to accept taking shots in return. Avoiding exchanges entirely would make winning impossible, but engaging also carries a significant risk against a puncher as skilled and powerful as Canelo.
And he's gonna get his little shots in as far as, finessing and all that, because his hands are definitely way faster than Canelo, but just the weight and the way that Canelo fights, he's not gonna back up against Crawford.
Yeah, I don't think Crawford's gonna be able to hurt him. Even if he lands a home run punch, I think Canelo's gonna be able to walk right through it.
He's gonna but he's going to be able to do a little bit of that.
Looking back at recent fights, many observers are still critical of Terence Crawford's performance against Israil Madrimov in August 2024. That bout didn't go as smoothly as expected. Crawford appeared less dominant than usual and took several clean shots. The fight was competitive and could have swung either way, highlighting that even an elite boxer like Crawford can struggle when facing opponents with size and power if he's not fully prepared. This context is crucial as Crawford prepares to face Canelo Álvarez.